Welcome back to Twitch Rivals, folks. We have been watching some fantastic North American streamers, and we've been talking a lot about DrDisrespect because he's kind of all the rage. He's a pretty crazy dude, but there's two dudes on his team who are both pretty excellent streamers in their own rights. We can see Viz as one of those people, and if you don't know about him, I'd like to get to know about him, so let's meet Viz.
All right.
He's low.
Burning them.
Dead.
Let's go, dude.
Now you gonna pay for it. Oh my god, that finisher is sick.
Give me a second.
How about this one? Do it again. Do it again.
That was actually badass.
With the yell. Oh my god, I'm dead.
I love that moment. We got to see that moment during the first Drops trailer, but they cut to DrDisrespect's perspective for the other side. We didn't get to see Viz just laughing in glee at the misery of the opponent.
I think the best part is DrDisrespect's yelp. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, like that high pitch, like, you can feel the passion behind that punch as he just slaps it.
It's like a primal war cry, almost, you know? If it was a video game, you're sitting behind a mouse and a keyboard and a green screen and a costume, you know?
Tapping into the most primitive desires at that point, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's pretty happy about it. But folks, if you're just now joining us and you're like, how does this tournament work? Are these guys just playing Apex? Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. This is a massive pub stomp. We have 8 teams of 3 players. A bunch of streamers put together their friends and decided to compete together here for 4 hours of public rampages. They each get points for kills and wins, 5 points for a win, 1 point for a kill. And they have 4 hours to do it. They are not allowed to leave games either. It's an important thing. You're not allowed to be like, this game's not going good. Let's just quit out and come back in. You gotta play every game to the end. But hey, get first place. There's $8,000 waiting for you. And the most kills gonna be able to pull in $7,500 extra dollars on top of that. So much money here on the line.
And what I'm actually really excited to see as we get deeper into the next couple hours is it was unheralded who the final placement winner and most kills was in Team Main from Europe. The way that it's looking at right now and seeing how close things are going to be, there is a chance that 5 points you get for the final placement actually ends up paying off who walks away with that 8K.
And those standings right now, pretty close stuff. Take a look at how things are so far. Reed's Money team, that's Choco Taco and Vision's company there, starting to run away with things a bit as they have 58 kills already. Holy crap.
And just to highlight that point that you just got from Jump, right? We see a situation where that's the case. Disrespect the Craft at 3rd and the Broys at 4. Currently, we see more victories coming out of Disrespect, which is why they have the point advantage. In all other cases, kills go in favor of the Broys there.
And speaking of Disrespect, here they are, going for that 3rd win right now, currently at rank 3.
They got legendary gear. Legendary gear.
This is a very clutch situation too, with only 2 squads left remaining. They know exactly where they are. We're taking a look now at this is what he has.
And we know they have legendary armor too, so that might be really difficult. Actually, none of those shots connecting whatsoever on the wingman there. They end up getting the kill. That's going to be the Mirage.
He's not a real dude.
Could say we got bamboozled.
Got bamboozled. The potato sprinkles, what a name. I would not want sprinkles in a potato.
Should only be 1 left. That's the only other squad available here for Disrespect, and I believe they just got the secondary knock. That's it.
Find him.
Call it a day.
You guys want to guess how many kills Real Crafty got?
Yeah, I'm going to say that was a solid 31.
31 kill game. Okay, you finally went over my number. Now it's 14. 14 though from Crafty. We were talking about DrDisrespect a lot. We just watched a package on Viz, and Crafty's like, bro, where's my love? Come on. 14 kills erect, 15 rather, at the end. 2,072. I think it's the most damage we've seen yet today.
That was my bad. I was considering the whole team. Viz on his own. Yeah. We haven't seen a player, I believe, break 20 by themselves yet.
No.
Yeah.
So 15. No, that's okay. We did. Dizzy in the first game got 21. So I'm gonna jump on over here back with Shroud, Skadoodle, and Justin.
When I'm this close.
Playing pretty well.
I'm the jump master.
They had was 22 kills in their last game.
I think the biggest thing to keep in mind, bringing it back to wins versus kills and how that works within the entirety of the format here at Twitch Rivals, is that it's important that this squad now, just either heavily succeed in one avenue or the other, because they need to be able to separate them. They are behind when it comes to the victory, so if they can't find that, they have to find the frags and the kills here. And they start with a little bit of an isolated drop. It's not like it's all the way out in the middle of nowhere, but I do wonder where's the heavy rotation going to come in here? Because I think it's going to be necessary to keep that tempo going.
Yeah, we're actually used to seeing teams go for a little bit more of the hot drop, but now we actually see the Broys decide to go for a little bit more of a softer drop. Lukewarm drop is what I like to call it.
Oh, yeah?
Over here
Room
at the
temperature.
wetlands. Room temperature. Now, they're in a good spot. The supply ship is going to end up stopping there. They might have some knowledge of whether or not teams decided to go to the drop ship. Teams have kind of been really back and forth on it. There's been some difficulties with the drop ship the teams really haven't enjoyed as much, but now look at what we're seeing. Skadoodle with a hard and quick rotation down to the south, and he's going to try to see if he can get something a little bit more off in a different direction.
We also get a nice glimpse for the first time of our Leviathans out there.
Reed's money team has already broken 100 points here. As Huskers, he got 16 kills in the first game he watched. He got 18 in his most recent game. But absolutely obliterating the competition.
But see, this is what's so exciting about Twitch Rivals, as well as what we're seeing today. When we were highlighting the teams, this wasn't a roster that we were kind of looking at too much, Yeah. This wasn't a group that we were like, oh, we need to make sure that we watch out. Reed's money team is going to take this way and run with it. No, these guys are stepping up. They're making sure that, hey, you know what? Just because this is a competition, there are some big names. We are big names too. We can compete with everybody else.
Yeah, right now, Skadoodle, or that work with this Hemlock was so clutch there. They're able to find the first knock. Pressure's out the second. This guy from the hip cannot miss. Triple kills, solo limb, and the guy had under 50% HP, no shields on the back end of that initiation.
He's holding one gun on his hip, the other one he's texting mom, hey, can we get some Papa John's?
Russian Papa John's?
Sure, from Russia. Deliver it on bareback. Appreciate it.
I just also want to point out that the Hemlock by default does 18 damage. If you hit all 3 of those, you're doing 54 damage to your opponent. If you're hip fire hitting all 3 of those bullets at the same time, the RNG gods are playing in your favor and you're doing something right.
I don't think it's RNG. It's Skadoodle, man.
It's actually, yeah, okay, that's right.
It's Skadoodle.
It's the Skadoodle factor.
Solo here, trying to find another team.
To me, the Hemlock is a gun that feels like, more often than not, I feel like I have that higher impact from a burst situation on the hip than I do like down the scope, because the kick can sometimes just be so hard, especially without a barrel stabilizer.
I would also like to point out, he was by himself. His teammate wasn't even around.
No, honestly,
he rotated by himself. What's up, guys?
Yeah, it was straight up like, and the weirdest thing about it is his first knock, he had more than enough time to disengage after the smoke, and he was just like, no, I've got this. Looking at this guy.
Like, okay, fine, I'll use the scope now.
I think it's the Hemlock. It's the hem locking onto their souls. He doesn't let go.
That was a good one.
The hem pop and lock, I like it. Let's go jump on over with King's Canyon. If you're like, yo, I want to know how Skadoodle got the kills. Well, he's streaming. Go check him out. Go watch his stuff. In the meantime, jump in with King Richard Ninja.
Sitting at 11 kills right now.
Uh-oh.
4 squads left remaining. He's going to try to get himself a little bit of speed up. He's playing a lifeline. Ninja in the earlier games, I believe, was playing a Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken.
He made the switch.
He swapped over to lifeline now. Does have that care package up and available. Now, if there's anything that we could want and we could hope outside of the just great spray control that he has now, lots of little damage. He's going to try to get a Peacekeeper to get the knockdown. He will indeed. Bangalore Smoke is on the other side. Is he going to go for the finish off? Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get the finish. Make sure that he gets that extra elimination. Up to 12 kills now with 10 players left remaining.
It's also interesting to note that King Richard switched to the Bangalore. He had been playing Mirage, so they kept the Bangalore. They said the Bangalore was important, but they wanted to also have the lifeline and give the Bangalore to somebody else. So here are the standings right now. Reed's money still climbing up a bit, but other people with some large point swings as we're still waiting for that second team to break 100.
In the last 30 minutes, Shroud, Skadoodle, and Justin have gone from 6th place now to 3rd place. This is what we were talking about. When you get that momentum in your favor and you start recognizing what it is you need to do to swap some of your strategies around, good things are bound to happen. They're up to 85 points. Kings Canyon now only 4 points ahead of them.
Like a package of cup noodles, man. They're just warming up. Getting there. Long way to go today.
You could have picked any food to have being warmed up.
I mean, it's Nissan cup noodles.
Yeah, but like you can't do any food, right? Because if you do a hot pocket, you get 1 or 2 cases. It's either so hot that maybe too hot.
It's not just warming up. It's baked in the fire.
It's a volcano.
You're from Texas. You can make a diesel truck reference. It takes a while to warm up, but once it goes, it doesn't stop running. Come on, man. There's plenty of options that you can do.
Slogan. Nissan cup noodles slogan is I'm just warming up. But no one cares about this. Let's just listen to Ninja. Let's hear what he's thinking about.
I'm taking this zip line. He was on top.
Reloading.
All dead?
Good job.
Solo.
Knock down the whole squad. Nice choice.
Airdrop over there. That wasn't on my mark. That was not on the map, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yep. Last squad.
Last squad, yep.
Should be them, hopefully.
Good jobs, dude. Like that Bloodhound, man. Woo.
Yeah. That's tough, man.
I think they looted it and ran.
No. Here.
Let's go this way.
Oh.
Getting shot at. Firing.
Knock the guy on the open. One guy over here. And one guy in the tunnel.
Reloading. Reloading.
One guy in the tunnel's running away.
Double timing it. Reloading.
Last one.
All dead. Nice. Good job, guys. Good job.
Good job, dudes.
You are the Apex champions.
All right, here's the thing. If you met Ninja as a Fortnite streamer and content creator and celebrity, you missed an entire side of Tyler Blevins. He is a blood cold-hearted competitor.
Dude,
this
we're
guy
killing this.
wants to win. You see him gets the win, doesn't care. He's like, next game, we're rolling on. Look of concentration on his face. He's ready to go.
I'm just landing on something.
Jump on over with DrDisrespect and the
Yeah,
Craft.
fight's going on right here.
My favorite ska punk band.
I'm gonna drop it.
I was about to say, it sounds like a punk band. DrDisrespect and the Craft.
Right here.
One of them ulted.
Over there.
Ska punk though.
Ska punk.
You gotta get in
Okay.
that line of trombones.
Beast of the Hunt, procs here.
And Crafty would be the one. He'd be the trombone player.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the keys player.
Underneath the house.
Because of scouting.
Using the Beast of the Hunt
he
to
stole
locate
it. Oh, shit.
enemies.
You've got the track. Big flank here.
Oh, he
Look
just
at that
charge.
fully charged.
Box one inside.
Very nice.
Good damage coming out there. Understanding that's the Mirage. Tries to get the pressure over. Have to slide up.
You're not looking at him?
That was only 13 to his face, actually. He's only got 2 bullets left. No! Ooh, that was a tough one. Look at the clutch out from the team.
But this is able to help him out. Takes down the enemy in Swordman 777. Sorry, buddy, but you're going to have to go back to the lobby because DrDisrespect the Craft is still alive. 9 squads left remaining. There's going to be 24 players. Shield battery's going to be able to come out for Crafty. Does he have a med kit? He does have a med kit as well, so he's going to be back up. And look how little HP this has.
Yeah, Visca just got blasted. A full HP and some shielding down to legitimately 1% HP. That was insane here as we see the Broys not only gaining momentum, but separating the gap between DrDisrespect and the Craft as, again, about 10 minutes ago, they were suffering about 5-point deficit from them.
And now Kings Canyon is the second team to break the triple-digit mark. They are now at 100 points, only 15 points behind, which, from what we've seen of these guys, especially in that last game, is nowhere near a number that they can't overcome.
Almost on the backside of the rock. Good damage there in the middle of the slide grapple attempt, but it's merely an attempt there. As you see, he is the executioner.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, judge, jury, and executioner, yeah.
I believe Kings Canyon just broke 100 points. If I saw a second team broke 100 points there.
Yeah, it was Kings Canyon. Yeah.
And they're able to pull that one off. Folks, if you're like, I really enjoyed that one streamer you guys showed. I don't remember what his name is. I don't remember what he was. Well, hey, there's a little black circle over on the side of your screen, a Twitch extension. You click on it, it'll show you everybody who's streaming right now. Click through those streams. You'll find the guy, I'm sure. They're pretty awesome stuff.
Okay, here.
Being able to go and support everybody who is currently playing there, also all live.
I dropped you 3. No, I only have 1 med kit.
Balloon going to show
Free to play.
DrDisrespect, Vis, and Crafty that they don't have to stay too long. They are a little bit of the ways outside, but thankfully they can try to see how far they're going to be able to go.
Judging by there's only 18 people left, as long as they have the syringes here, it's unlikely they're going to find, kind of a secondary party this far out in the circle at this point of the game. It is possible, especially if they have some of the more mobile legends on their squad, but for now I think it's pretty reasonable here. And as you see, just purely off of Crafty alone, he has 4 syringes, which is more than enough to get him and the entirety of the squad back to full HP.
And it actually looks like this is the loadout as far as legend composition that I think we're going to see the most of today.
Yeah.
The Wraith, the Bangalore, as well as the Bloodhound. because of the Bloodhound Bangalore synergy that, you know, we can talk about till we're blue in the face, but just the pure utility that they bring individually, and then having somebody on that playmaking Wraith to be able to flank around and create those better opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like when I look at Wraith, she's like one of those few that balances between the skirmishing and kind of the, you know, fighting capabilities of the Bangalore, but then still on the utility aspect to some level too. And I love her as that kind of third rounding out between the two very skirmish heavy and synergistic of the Bloodhound and again the Bangalore.
It's actually really cool when you think about the Wraith. When I was talking to Respawn yesterday, you know, a lot of people kind of had these conversations about how broken, not broken that her tactical ability is in that phase. Apparently, in the early renditions when they decided to create her, it was 7 seconds long and you could shoot instantly. But the developers, in their gracious goodness as well as plenty of playtesting, realized that, you know, that might not be as fair. It might be a little bit more overpowering. So not only did they move it down to 4 seconds, I believe is what it is now, as well as creating animation when you come out. But if you're a Wraith main, when she comes out of that, when she comes out of the phase mode animation, she's actually clenching her fists and then comes out and releases her fists. So it's like releasing the frustration of being in this kind of like alternate universe. So it's like the little things like this that Respawn has really tried to kind of implement into the game and show that extra depth to it itself.
It's a common trope with characters that travel between dimensions. They usually really wish that they weren't doing it, you know?
Yeah, no, they aren't happy with their burdens. Yeah. They wear, you know, again, a burden that maybe they don't want to be able to have, and it feels like their life is literally, can they overcome said struggle? And right now, it feels like at least Crafty and friends are able to do so. They only have 3 people left, already popping Beast of the Hunt. We got very few opportunities that anybody could be that wide. Great flank up the rock. Pops 2 with the Peacekeeper, finds one in the track. And this is actually really interesting. Scouting and then choosing to use the upgrade there with the choke and volunteering what target you want. This is one of the few moments that you can do that due to Beast of the Hunt here. Great play coming out from Crafty. I mean, color me impressed after that transition there.
He just ran.
And then we got full scout as you see the footprints there onto the ground.
Just regardless.
He's been playing pretty well. Crafty got 15 kills in their last game.
He's sniffing. He knows.
Yeah, I think he's just looking around.
The Hound.
You smelling that?
Yeah.
Smells like
He's 100%
pumpernickel.
back to his teammates. Did
Really?
we thirst?
Why
Does
not?
death smell like pumpernickel?
No, it smells like death. It doesn't. Pumpernickel smells like pumpernickel.
I don't know. We smelled the same thing, but we had very different results. So, ooh, interesting. Team MDK has switched to Gibraltar, so we do have somebody playing Gibraltar.
North American
We got it, Jimmy.
And that means that now every character has been represented in some way, shape, or form.
I got the fast kill backpack.
A lot of loot here to choose from. What do we end up landing on? Still the choke. Pretty good scout, or scope as well here on the Peacekeeper. I don't know what we have on the Wingman. Ideally, you'd like any kind of magazine increase.
Where's this guy go, man?
And, you know, basic scoping, you feel pretty good. Thing goes up the hill.
He's got a full loadout here. He doesn't have the one-time digital threat that I think everybody wants to have at some point or another. But he does have the Skull Crusher piercing hop up, which is extremely important if you want that extra damage and you're able to hit those headshots.
Yeah, DrDisrespect actually backing to shield and heal. But the rest of the squad's still willing to push up.
The Broys have crossed into the 100-point club here. Only 7 points behind Kings Canyon. Hunting for that second place, but right now, somebody's got to catch Reed's money team.
And I think there's a very big thing to highlight here that's kind of going on the action, beyond the competitiveness within the standings, within the action in this game. DrDisrespect is completely kind of isolated from the rest of the squad, while Crafty has some kind of poke onto a different end. DrDisrespect was able to survive, and it feels like able to bring his HP back to full and join with the rest of the team, but for a moment there, it felt like they were going to just kind of get pincered right through the squad.
You can't seem to find this enemy. We'll tell you how this game ends, and if you want to follow all the action, go and jump on to Crafty Stream. Go follow Viz. Go check out DrDisrespect. Right now, I want to go jump up with some people we haven't seen yet today. Here's Team Papega. This is Lirik, Shorty Guy, and Seagull, who have been doing pretty good and are really creeping up on Disrespect the Craft.
I'm sad to see that Seagull does not have an immediate wingman, but let's be real, that could be loot or just difference of preference. By no means does he have to. It's just that in my head. That was Dreadnoughts, what I wanted to see. But we'll see if they go for it later.
And this one here, we're currently watching Lirik. Thinking about picking up the piece. He already has a Peacemaker. You know, he's good to go. Right now, a Peacekeeper. I called it a Peacemaker. Dang it.
Yeah, I definitely like set the bad precedent on that one. I called it Peacemaker once.
It's like a pacemaker, but just so it's the opposite of a pacemaker, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, the pacemaker keeps you alive.
The pacemaker restarts your heart when it stops.
Somebody over
The
there. I'll take that way.
Peacekeeper just stops your heart. Right now, your boy Seagull, though, doing pretty well. 13 kills in his last game. 6, 7, and 9. 6 the fewest kills he's gotten so far.
The one thing I will say about Seagull, you know, I've gotten to watch a bit of his stream in the past, and again, you guys have the opportunity to tune in with him, but a few times I've been able to meet him, just a very, very kind and, you know, cool guy to be able to hang out with, and I feel like it translates over to stream as well, so sure to check that out, guys.
Same thing for Shorty guy that you have on the screen right now as well. Very genuine individual, plays a lot of different games, known for some of his Rainbow Six. Of course, he is one of the trio of Giant Waffle, Lirik, as well as Shorty guy himself that have played a numerous amount of games, specifically Rust, Minecraft, all the like. They definitely love those survival style games that you can kind of have a little bit of fun with. Now he finds himself off in really good lighting.
I don't see him, but
Yeah, no, I love his setup. I love the symmetry of the lights that are behind him, too. Like, gets the full purple look going, but then has a nice orange as well. It's a very solid setup. Very like simple but sophisticated look. Not complicated clothing. Oh no, Seagull goes down. Go help him, Shorty.
Lirik looks like he's trying to pressure up to be able to help him.
Help him, Lirik.
He's still revivable technically for a short period of time, now only recoverable on the banner.
Oh, but he's reviving him. He's getting Seagull back up.
You see the wingman trade, actually almost no damage taken here by Short Man. Or Short Guy, excuse me.
Short Man.
Shorts Man.
Shorts, man!
It sounds like a dude who only wears shorts. It's like a never dude. He's like an only short.
I believe his first name is Guy.
It is.
Short Man.
And so it is a combination of the fact that he is a short person. His nickname
That's
Shorty.
short, though.
He is kind of short.
He's like almost 6 foot.
I don't believe it. You're pulling a Nick Merckx on me right now.
I'm just saying, I'm a slightly above average human being, and both of you make me look like a short guy. So
I think that was one of the greatest redeeming features is when we have when we're standing in front of the rosters and we both actually can like look each other in the
we're just
eye
normal
and talk.
people
Yeah, we're
now.
just normal-sized people. Come over and hang out with us. But oh no! You said the shots were gonna hit. Well, just in time. He doesn't want to hear us talk about ourselves. He wants to let us know that he can shoot with the wingman and hit those shots. Indeed, he can.
ooh, that headshot back to back there. Only one whiff in between, but it was all that was needed there in that tense moment. Seagull ended up surviving that very risky situation. I say surviving, but what I mean is completely dying, have an ally go res him, and now able to reloot. Which, to be frank, other than stats, no difference when it comes to game outcome.
Beauty in Apex, though, you know, man? Just getting the people back up, and even when you're dead, it doesn't matter. You can still be respawned. So we did not get to see anybody actually jump out of the plane and jump back in after being respawned in Europe. I hope we get to see that. But let's go check back in with Kings Canyon right now. Dizzy has been doing some pretty crazy stuff, and right now he's at 8 kills in his current game.
I'm gonna take the 285.
Rocking the Spitfire and Peacekeeper.
And that beautiful skin. Every time, dude, I just get a little bit more jealous, and I'm like, why don't I have that in my life?
If I had a skin that had a melee weapon he could hold, I probably would just run around with it. I would remember to put my weapons away more often because I get to see the cool skin.
I think
That's actually a really good point. There's a tactical advantage to the skin.
Yep.
Respawn, please.
A really cool thing about this as well is watching the proficiency of how quickly they're able to loot, and a huge component of that is specifically with what Apex Legends is actually able to do when you're swapping over to attachments. Because the game automatically puts attachments in there, it makes these high APM players that can click through able to get themselves an upgraded piece of equipment and then go right back. A huge component of that, of course, is Sean Slayback himself, the weapons designer for Respawn. And if anybody wants tips, the man is always on Twitter throwing weapons tips. He was actually throwing the ones about the digital thread out there and kind of giving everybody and dropping the knowledge. And as a result, you can see how much better these players are able to loot and go because of these little tiny things that he did when he made all these weapons.
Summit Josh and bye-bye, and also DrDisrespect the Craft jumping in to that 3-digit club now. A tight race for third places. Kings Canyon starting to pull away a little bit, but Reed's money team as well, really making that distance up right now.
The one thing I was going to say I'm impressed with here is we've been trying to keep some of the momentum and the idea of who's going to get in the groove and like how that looks, right? And it felt like for the moment there, the Broys were skyrocketing. You know, Shroud and friends were really able to kind of step their game up. But then we actually saw that DrDisrespect and friends actually now seem to be finding their groove and kind of rejoining here. It's an interesting decision to kind of stop halfway up the lift there out from Dizzy.
I can get to Richard.
Yeah.
Well, right now,
Yeah, I'm ballooning over.
Shroud, the player that there's so much hype around, and rightfully so. He's an absolute monster has been having a bit of a quiet day, only averaging 6 kills a game. Both his teammates averaging at least 7.
You know, there's an interesting kind of idea that might come around that, right? And, you know, when we watch Shroud more often than not, how often is he paired with 3 debatably equally skilled players, right? You only have so many enemies that you can kill. And what if that's a situation of, you know, when you put greatness with greatness, it just kind of looks average, right? And that's clearly not saying that he is an average player.
No,
but it kind of taking away from his lethality that we kind of have known to expect from him. I'm not saying that is the case, but it's something that might be coming to light.
Could be possible here.
Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Ninja tries to jump across the roof of the building to scope something out and immediately gets tagged up. He's forced to use a shield battery. He's going to take down one. Thankfully, he's got a giant magazine to Spitfire. He's going to swap over, but he gets tapped on the face. He's going to get knocked down. That's going to be the full takedown. Now, there is 90 seconds for his teammate to get that recovery. You can hear him communicating with his team and saying, guys, I'm going to need to respawn.
Yeah, that was a really clutch moment there. You could understand the crouching to go for the swap. I think he didn't have the immediate shot after the swap when he actually revealed himself quite yet. The animation was just finishing. Not 100% sure there, but either way, getting pressured out, Ninja in a tough moment, and he's stuck around a lot of red dots.
Dizzy's banner popping up on the spectator screen there for Ninja. 4,206 kills on the Wraith.
Almost 3,000 headshots alone.
Really, 4,000 in 8
damage.
days. He's gotten 200 since then.
The only number I have, again, even close to that is my grapple, and that's purely because I just grapple too much.
You don't even look at the circle. You're just like, whee!
No, it's straight up. Is it on cooldown? Okay, we're pressing it. Let's go. So they got to go for the recovery here. We still only have, what, 36 seconds for them to be able to get to that. Portal is going to be laid. There's breathing room and some distance in between that. So Ninja is going to be very weak if he gets the full res. He'll be able to go in, get the pickup, take that portal, and get to the res on the back end very well. Dizzy has a very in, out, job's done type deal, but the most important thing is that he's late enough that I'm not sure if he's going to fully make it.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. 15, 12, 13 seconds left remaining now before, and I think he's going to have to just make this conscious decision of, sorry, Ninja, I'm not going to be able to pick you up here. We need to make sure that we get these eliminations. He recognizes that. He throws the arc star out to try to get a little bit of cover fire. Now Dizzy's going to try to pop right over. He's going to come through onto the roof. You can see the mark on the artillery strike, but a nice little spray to be able to get the knockdown. He's going to try to go through. Gibraltar's there, so he's going to have to run through the shield because, as we've noticed throughout the course of the day, it is not breakable. And he's going to have to rotate himself around and see if King Richard can help out.
Yeah, they haven't found him quite yet. They're both stacked on together. Found him in the corner. Wraith unable to make it out. No Ninja, no problem. Already enough damage done and set up, and you got Dizzy there to clean up shop.
And they've done quite a bit of damage already. Ninja got the 1 kill he needed in that game. Everybody else helping out. King Richard going up to 13 kills. He'd been having a really, really slow day. He'd had a max of 3 kills before that. Now coming up to 13. Good stuff from him. Go over to the boys. Let's jump back in with Shroud, Skadoodle, and Justin. Right now, Shroud leading the team.
Man,
he's been...
Skadoodle. Do you see that right now with the scout? I'm sorry, in the bottom left, he just opened with 6 shots about 200 meters out and almost hit every single one of them there. Bit of a whip over that.
It's also the blue dragon skin.
Yeah, you're right. When we were asking, you were asking my favorite skin, right? This is the blue version of what is my favorite skin.
Azure dragon.
I feel like I like the crimson one better. I'm pretty confident there is a red one, but the blue one, actually, now that I'm seeing Skadoodle with it, I might have to change my vote.
The skin is carrying right
it kind of is. You know, those bullets are definitely hitting more, like 2% greater because of that skin.
Artillery strike comes out, so that's going to have to be forcing Skadoodle and friends to kind of move themselves around. Instead, he does take a little bit of damage. You can see the shield damage there. And remember, when these do come down as well, as you can see, it kind of dulls the senses a little bit and forces a rough situation for you. And so he's going to have to be forced to rotate to a different position. He will go down. He sees a little bit of the loot box, wants to go ahead and say, nope, forget about
he's like,
that.
let's go CSGO surfing. Woo! Sliding is so much fun.
It is.
And one of the coolest things about it, we've only seen it come to life once, and it was at the beginning of North America, is that you can heal during it. You have the opportunity to be sliding and healing at the same time. It's one of the fastest mobility while also having maximum HP, increase in, kind of just health effectiveness overall at the exact same time. It's one of my, one of those small but great choices made overall here.
Now we've got all these pings showing up on the map as he gets another one. Can he finish him here?
He's one shot from getting, and he confidently takes it.
We see right now, Skadoodle on the Bloodhound, there's all these little markers that keep showing up on the ground. Can we explain to people that maybe don't know what that is, what we're looking at?
Talking about that a little bit. Ooh. Okay. All right, we can talk about it again. His teammate helped him out a little bit. So Bloodhound, known as the lethal tracker in Apex Legends, as they decide to end up killing the champion there. When you actually see those marks, it lets you know where the enemy has been, or the enemy has been there X amount of seconds ago. So 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 50 seconds, something like that, which allows you to do exactly what this legend was created for, which is to track. Now, in combination that you find with that ultimate ability that you see in the middle that's kind of highlighted and active, that's going to be Beast of the Hunt, his ultimate, which then kind of gives you more of an opportunity to track them, highlights them a little bit more, but more importantly, gives you the speed upgrade so you can track them a little bit more efficiently. As now the standings have appeared, 6 of our 8 teams are now above the 100-point mark, 151 points for Reed's Money team, 130 for Kings Canyon's, 21 points, a little bit of that lead being expended.
Right now, we only really have 2 teams that have experimented at all with the changing of team comps. Right now, Ninja one of those teams. He played the Lifeline after switching off of Bangalore, and now he's on to for his next game. He's going to be on the Bloodhound with King Richard picking up the Bangalore. So they have now adopted the Bangalore Bloodhound Wraith, what it seems to be the meta comp right now.
It was a real good shot to be able to connect with that 40 damage here.
He's up here outside of the bounds.
Yeah,
momentary advantage of that.
Yeah, 15 seconds until he had to get back in. Managed to land onto the ground. A lot of pressure there. Not landing with a longbow. Say it. And then third shot, actually able to reel in that knock. We have 1 up to the right and 1 down the hill here in this squad. Skadoodle pressuring up. Over the edge.
Oh, that poor person.
Oh, and a snap rotation to be able to get the execute there. Love it.
One more final
target
shot.
practice.
One more final shot to make sure he gets that elimination, as well as the extra point onto the kill counter for him. 4 squads, 12 players left alive now. That's 5 kills into the hands of Skadoodle. He's going to do a nice little 55 dink onto some epic armor, and he's going to snap from one side to another as both of the members pop out. Unfortunately, none of those shots are going to be able to hit, but it's doing just enough to occupy them, as it looks like his teammates could have an opportunity to roam around.
Still trying to peek. No, there's 2 up, 1 off to the right, a little bit 1 off to the left. Not able to land that one as they drop down, both stacking on top of each other. 1, 2, 3's a charm. And he finds the first knock, swaps over to the scout, drops down 4 and 2 knocks here. Coming right out of Skadoodle, and look at the longbow, brings it back out. Oh my, not able to, he barely able to make it out of the smoke, but let's be real here, after those 2 knocks.
Do you want to talk about confidence? You're talking about a scout and a longbow. You're talking about 2 light and heavy ammo snipers, essentially. Single shots.
How many squads did they just wipe? 2?
Yeah, they just wiped 2 squads.
I also want to point out that Justin is just nowhere to be seen. He's just somewhere off this way. When he gets out done looting, you'll notice on his mini-map, there's the yellow arrow that indicates where Justin is. It's just pointing off the map. He's like, he's over this way. You can't even see him. He's so far. That was Shroud and Skadoodle by themselves, wiping 2 squads.
Impressive.
So now 2 squads are left alive. If I'm not mistaken, taking a look at what the numbers were right before that question mark started to appear, it is a full squad of 3, which now is an opportunity for them to have 3 more kills to their counter, as well as the potential 5 if they end up winning this match.
If I'm reading Skadoodle's minimap correctly, every time he flashes it up for like 30 frames, Justin is on the entire other side of the circle.
Yeah.
Playing the let's cover as much area as possible. This is still a very large circle. We need to get out of these games as quickly as possible. So with this 1 squad left, it could be 1 person hiding in 1 building. We need to be able to find him. This Beast of the Hunt is going to be important. It could be huge if he finds the guy right now.
Well, and every second that you're wasting looking for this last squad, these last members, is time that's coming off of the clock. We saw actually at the end of the European block what this was a problem that teams were running into. With a couple players left remaining, you're not actually able to finish them off. Those are minutes wasted. Those are points that you're not able to acquire.
And I actually really like that call, especially if you're going to send out a quote-unquote scout in these type of circumstances, right? Who are you going to send to do that? Somebody with a portal to be able to get you closer, and with an iframe to be able to survive a all-in initiation 3 versus 1. You legitimately can almost not choose a better legend to have that, to be that kind of, I'm going to be that rogue agent, if you will. I'm a fan of the Pathfinder in that area too, only because of his mobility, but let's be real here, you can't just nope out of a fight the same way a Wraith can.
I mean, you're a fan of the Pathfinder. fighter in general.
I am, but I'm trying to not put my bias in there, right? Objectively,
no,
he is good in these
and
moments.
They have spread so far out as the point total's coming in. Kings Canyon's continuing to creep a lot closer to Reed's money, and DrDisrespect 1 point ahead of the Broys right now. They really could get this win. It would really help push them up. Pepega 1 point behind them. Such a close race right now for third.
We're gonna have to clear every house, I guess.
17 points, so +4 now for Kings Canyon as they've been able to claw back just a little bit after their last couple games.
Check inside the bunker.
This final trek for whoever this may be at this point is
the most frustrating thing in the world if you're a team like this.
And to be honest now, let's be real. Our broadcast has been out live enough at this point that, and we have promoted the idea that you can drop to land with these guys early on. If I'm a player, I might be going, I know they're in my game, or I expect them to be in my game. I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to make this harder for you if you're a part of this tournament. And I'm not saying that's what we see here, but it's clear that they are going, you know what, we aren't going to reveal ourselves, burn as much time as possible. And in almost no circumstances is that ever a great win condition to bank on.
Scanning the area.
You can hear him talking, bro. Where is he?
Never
bro,
lucky, apparently.
what's going on? Never lucky.
And yeah, you want ultimate accelerants, I feel like, for your Bloodhound here. This is one of the few moments that I actually think we've seen an objective, priority onto somebody other than a lifeline for ultimate accelerants. Late game, beast of the hunt. You want that as much as you can if you are, confident in calling out your opponents that you're better than them.
Yeah, you got to be able to find these people, especially when time is money. It's not about how many games you play, it's about how many games you can
Time
get
is
in.
literally money in this
Literally
game, too.
money.
Let's be real. Time is literally money in this situation.
Where the fuck I am?
I don't know, where are you?
I was going to say, that's what we're saying about that other squad member right now, aren't we, Shroud?
The death box not allowing the door to open.
Just get pissed off of it and kick it.
But I love how you have to kick it twice. It's like once, and then it's like, all right, the door won't open. All right, screw this door. The whole second time just to break it through.
Well, I feel like they've been all
This guy
over
knows.
this map.
He
I mean,
knows
find these
that
people.
we-
Where
he knows
are
that
they?
we-
We're,
played
what,
the
I'm going to
time.
say my internal clock is saying like 15 seconds out from Bloodhound ult, and that's when we're going to find it, I think, if ever.
All right.
Found him.
There you go.
three.
Skadoodle, he found the enemy. Yep, all
He said
three of
a
them are left
all
alive,
three.
and now this is where the fun begins.
You can start the stopwatch and see how long they survive. I feel like that might be a better way to approach this last skirmish.
Shots are coming out from all different
Kraber
sides. He's got the
flame.
Kraber. That's 125 on the body shot. They're going to try to run in onto the building. He's got the R301. Isn't able to get the spray. He is able to get it on the other side. He's going to have to be forced to rotate down. Artillery strike is still left alive. Bangalore is going to get a little bit of a speed up onto the lifeline. He knocks down Don Price. He goes for the hip shot. That's going to be number 2. One player left alive.
Beautiful movement there from Shroud. Something we're going to talk about later. He barely misses that Kraber shot and they'll fly down. Bit of pressure out from him now. Probably going to swap over that R301. Gets a flank angle to the left. Spray and pray. Just to make that pressure into that corner. He is pinched on the back end of this house on the western side. Flank one side. Teammate flank the other. And Skadoodle and Shroud feel like they are about to close this round out.
I do like this decision by him, though, to not over-aggress and go into the mark. He actually decides to heal up onto the shield battery first because he knows he doesn't want to stake anything to chance. He wants to make sure it's there, but it doesn't matter. Champion banner pops up. The Broys get themselves a win.
I think he used a finisher there?
He did, actually.
And win the game.
And I know this is a couple of seconds ago, but I talked about the movement you saw out of Shroud. The biggest thing was not only was he able to move between two those gas tanks twice and actually spray a couple of shots in between that, but then the second he breaks line of sight, he immediately lifts up. The Bloodhound thinks he's going to match him in a 1-to-1, sprays into the lifeline, and then turns the corner after the Bloodhound realizes he has completely misread. That was a full just movement alone, beyond the fact that he can point and click and shoot like Shroud can. Movement carried him there.
A master class in motion and positioning from the Shroud Meister. And now back over with Dizzy at 11 kills again. 4 squads left, 12 people.
Yeah, they're pushing for me, pushing for me.
It's about 9 to clean up. It's currently Kings Canyon on a 19-kill game.
Excuse me, bro. I need to reload for a second.
Yeah.
The hip fire comes out. Dizzy able to get himself another elimination. It doesn't matter. It's always the worst feeling in the world when you're on the other side of that. When you're on the other side of that fight and you see someone reload completely. And he's able to get himself another one. There's 3 squads left alive now for Dizzy and his crew.
Continue to clean up. Oh, man, more of them. It's like, hey, come over. We're over here. Please.
I'm healing.
He's able to make it out there with the eye for him and heal up.
Shield battery comes out. He gets his full shield left alive. He's going to have to go. Now, he has to be careful with both of these clips. And That's going to be a big thing because he's only got 55 plus 43. That's going to be 98 left alive. But he's going to hop over to the edge. He's going to get one knockdown on the assist. Another elimination to secure the kill. 2 squads left alive now for Kings Canyon.
That was just Craigasm, dude. My goodness, that was very good positioning and rotation there coming out from King. That's the second time we've seen this team, very skilled players make rotational advantages that add to shooting advantages. And I know that's something everybody aims to do, but I think it's a big thing to point out is that these players, we know them to be legendary shooters, but how often do you look at what if they're just outmaneuvering these players? And it feels like almost 80% of the time that is the circumstance.
And you want to talk about maneuverability? You want to talk about the maneuverability of slow and steady. They have clawed back Kings Canyon within arm's reach of Reed's money team. 161 to 152 respectively for the first and second place individuals. 9 points are left remaining, and now if they can get these last 3 kills as well as the win, that's going to give them 8 points and with them make them 1 point away from the first place.
I want to talk about the speed, violence, and momentum of DrDisrespect. The Craft starting to actually make that pull away from the other teams. There was that nice deadlock battle for third place as they right now have their last game 17 kills from Vis and 12 from Real Crafty, 6 from DrDisrespect.
Okay. 35.
35?
35 bomb.
That is the new
record leader right now.
And I feel like Team Papega's is somebody we got to shout out too. I feel like they were sitting like right where the gap was going to start forming as we get a couple hours deep, and actually broke that, and now are competing with the boys.
Their last game, you want to get this? Lirik had 11 kills, Shorty had 12, and Seagull only had 4.
Ooh.
Lirik getting involved.
Still a 27 bomb for your team. That's a huge amount of points. Add the win as well. 32 points added to the. If you can average 30 points, I think if you can average 30 points a game, that's pretty good, and you're going to be in the top 4. Yeah.
Ooh. You see a tango there in the Cascade section there.
Oh, you can hear the shots coming out. The Spitfire is going to get through. You can see the legend kill leaderboards on to the right side. But while all of this is going on, it's the last opportunity. Oh, his teammate's going to go down, but it doesn't matter. Dizzy picks up the final kill. That's going to be another 5 points. They are within striking distance of Reed's money team.
We talked about how amazing it was that Dizzy was getting like 500 kills on Wraith a day. He's gotten 75 on this tournament.
Thank you guys so much.
Like he's almost to 100. He's almost to like half of his daily quota, just in a tournament.
16 kills. 33. You heard him say it.
Reed's money. They have been absolutely pounding. The last few games a little bit different. They had a game where they went out with just 3 kills. Right now they're at 7. Though still very early on in the game. 16 squads left, 7 kills is pretty good.
And here's the boy himself, Mr. Choco Taco. For any of you guys out there, make sure you go ahead and give him a follow. Great personality and even a better shooter. When you think about it, their team member sitting now in first place.
Also a delectable dessert, frozen treat.
Yeah, no, straight up.
Have you ever had a Choco Taco?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but who hasn't had one?
All right, no, that's true. I've had one. Let me clarify. You guys are both staring at me. I've had a Choco Taco.
We can go to a gas station right now and go get you something.
Yeah, let's
if you
go.
haven't had one.
I'm at 7-Eleven after this. Choco Taco. If you win Twitch Rivals, I will go and buy a chocolate taco right after this, and I will tweet you about it. And you probably won't see it because you're a super big celebrity. But I'll do it. I promise you. That'll happen. At WavePunkRL on Twitter, I guess.
Weird flex, but okay.
No, this was a sellout flex. That's what that was.
The one thing I did want to bring up here, before we got into the beautiful debate of Choco Tacos 2019, was the fact that they are running what we have argued is maybe the most, standard composition right now with the Wraith, Bangalore, and the Bloodhound. It's just interesting to note because they are a very standout team performing and debatably one of the biggest pools of celebrities and popularity here at Apex Legends. So the fact that they're holding their own lead in the pack and they're running with that is something we got to keep our eyes on.
I'm also gonna, I'm gonna bow down for you second for here at Dreadnought. You talked a lot about the Spitfire, and I gave it a lot of crap at the very beginning.
It's pretty gross.
All of the top players have been running Spitfire because they understand recoil control, and because of its large clip size and the fact that it has heavy ammo, it's actually doing pretty well for all of these guys.
It's one of the gun types where its downside is something you as a player can adjust.
Yep.
Exactly. Where like it's something like how many many shots they have or how much the bullet spread is not something.
And so when we take that argument, right, if that's the one element I can't adjust when I look at the gun itself, and I've been talking about bullet clips and sizes and capabilities all day long, and there's a reason for that. The reason the Spitfire is such an outlier is if you hit every shot within that clip and you remove that element you have control, how many targets in theory could you have killed comparative to your average gun? And the answer is more on the Spitfire than every other one. So you correct that, and that means you have more lethality than anybody else. The biggest drawback past that is going to be range, right? Is how far can you get that threat out?
There's a lot of loot here, guys.
Currently rolling on through the Cascades area.
Here.
It's really fun to watch the current standing as well, or the current state of the game that we look from Choco Taco. We've been tuning in on a lot of the players when they're in kind of like these top 5 scenarios because it is exciting, it is really cool. But for those of you hardcore BR fans out there, it's even more fun to watch the rotation strategies of what we like to call the mid game.
Yeah.
When you're in that middle state of the game, you're at the end of round 1. Coming into the part of coming through the end of round 2, that's more of that middle game area, especially in these high aggression games that we're seeing thus far. And it's really interesting to see players that have been doing so well, such as Visions, Huskers, and Choco Taco, on how they're rotating in this more open situation.
Yeah, because there are a lot of unknowns, right? That you kind of have to make a bunch of reasonable assumptions, hold them as true, and then make the most educated, not only, kind of choice and rotation for the team overall, and then see if that pays out. But if it doesn't, then you really have to call an audible rather quickly in these type of situations, only because kills have been so heavily incentivized here at Twitch Rivals.
You'd think Reed's Money maybe gave everyone an opportunity when their last game didn't go so great. They only got 3 kills, were out pretty fast. But then he bounced back. They have 14 kills with 11 squads remaining. There are plenty of teams that 14 kills is a good game for them. And here they're only halfway through.
I love how that's the standard of play that we have right now in Twitch Rivals. Oh, you only got 10 kills. You need to do better. You're not doing as good as you need to. You need to walk up and try to get one of those 15.
Like your brother Jimmy. Jimmy always brings home the 20 bombs.
Nice.
Okay, let's keep going.
That was 10 out of 10. I'll give you that one. I needed to give you dramatic silence for that one. That was pretty good.
Can't deal with Jimmy there.
Why is it yellow? Why is it
Dang it, Jimmy.
What is this game?
Care package far west.
Choco Taco here, 10 squads remaining now.
Dude.
Rocking the Peacekeeper as well. He's got his close range locked down, and then everything else is handled by the Spitfire.
To the balloon.
They're all in a really good spot as well because they've got themselves
this
epic
game, but I'm here. I'm
armor
alive.
too.
Let's go jump in with Summit in the gang. We haven't seen them for a little bit. Summit, Josh, and Bye-Bye.
Bye-bye.
Still on that rare Pathfinder.
Finding themselves in a top 15 5-squad left situation.
I think we should go back.
Now, while things do look good for them, considering the fact that we see Josh OG with 10 kills, he's got 0 armor, and he's only sitting on level 1 armor, so that common armor that you can see all across the map, which by and large doesn't seem like a lot because it's definitely not. That's an extra 50 effective health, essentially, and when you get to those later stages of the game where you have the enemies with a fully kitted weapon, you're going to get chunked pretty quickly.
I love Josh OG's infinite dab up in the corner. The little ghost dude in the top left. Just going at it, man.
Yeah, if you shoot the bomb,
He is. He's back and forth. It's
That is some serious cardio.
You're right.
4 hours of just infinite dabbing.
Found themselves at least one squad. Already got a knock around the truck. Great tracking here. Coming out from Josh OG. Very well done there. And with the Spitfire.
Yep, and there you go. You actually saw he communicated it to his team a second ago, and he was able to do that. Shooting the bottom of the caustic barrels, that little red ring disapparates it immediately, which gives you just enough counterplay to not get slowed down so you can chase the enemy or draw back if you need to.
Bye-bye, though. Receiving a bit of pressure. Josh OG not able to connect there with that longbow. Throws out the thermite as we get a flank from Summit as Bye-bye also gets pressure on the side. 4 squads going ahead and remain. A lot of damage coming through. That's going to be the first knock out of, again, one of those 4 squads left. I believe they have one more until the full knock. And another squad down here for the big old boys. Josh OG and friends wasted no time to gain a couple of points.
Let's be clear. It's possibly Josh OG, okay?
It's not the real, you're right.
I know he's on Josh OG's stream, but like the guy in game is clearly named possibly Josh OG, so I'm not sure.
Definitely not Blitzcrank.
No,
I gotta grab more ammo, guys.
But he's most certainly possibly above 50% a chubby stormtrooper.
For sure.
100%. And I can tell you this much, he shoots better than a chubby stormtrooper.
He does.
Shoots a lot better. Shoots a lot better than all the stormtroopers, man.
Light ammo here.
I like what is that, Ren or Stimpy in the background? I forgot the difference between the two, but
So many. Have you heard the theory about how stormtroopers actually were intentionally missing in the moments where you see them missing?
That's not a theory.
This is canon.
That's life.
That's life.
It's real.
Is this some weird allegory to people aren't there when you need them kind of thing?
No,
we just went down a deep dark path, Dreadnought. I don't think this is the way we want to go.
It was one of those like, how can our dreams be real? Like I was trying to what is it? The Will Smith's child. I was trying to just become the prophet.
This is where we've reached ourselves.
Let's just go check in with DrDisrespect. Let's go see how Doc's doing right now. Is he being able to beat up on Shroud? He's currently ranked more highly than he is. Ranked 3.
Hasn't been able to get himself an elimination yet thus far, though his teammate, Vis, is certainly keeping it up. He's at double digits with 10, 9 squads, 26 players left remaining, and it looks like they're in crazy of enough firefight. Lots of damage coming out from that EV8. Shotgun, he's going to try to see if he can get him on the recoil. He does. The Pathfinder goes down. Elimination complete. That's going to be some extra kills into their pockets. And they find themselves in a good spot.
I think that's the first kill we've seen with an EVA.
Yes, it's not only the... we might have got one in Europe. Maybe one, but you are right. Out of a majority of the shotguns, definitely Peacekeeper has been far and above the highest priority. But I want to bring up something that we saw out of Vis there when it comes to the element of movement, but then what he did with specifically Bangalore in the passive. He actually utilized that he had an auto shot and took the passive by them scouting and shooting at him for mobility. He didn't waste that to flank. He goes, I'm coming at you. That the Pathfinder had no idea what to do within that choke, tried to run away, and let's be real, you can't run away from auto shotty when Bangalore just hunted you down.
Where you going? Come on back. Now the Arc Star is in to clear the house. And what happened?
The sticky grenade stuck the tape too.
I just want to know if it goes through the door. There we go. And then it is the grenade. So you can use grenades to blow open doors.
Great.
People in there, look at that.
Oh, 59 damage.
Charging on in.
Able to get it, knocked down for 1. He's going to immediately go in to try to get more. He's going to use the Bangalore passive, just like you were talking about in the last engagement.
Yeah.
A couple of hip fires are going to go out. He knows the guy went out the backside. He's going to ADS to try to get down slice, paints a silhouette around his character. Bangalore smokes to try to get a little bit more out of it, and it's the hip fire, the knockdown. One more still left alive, though. He needs to be careful.
Yeah, and they got to just track down the third, wherever he's going to be at this point in time. I don't believe that they are going to maybe look for a ping with the Bloodhound. They found him inside the house. It seems like somebody's kind of spraying there.
Oh, there he is. He's going to have to try to get one more. It's going to be a Mirage. Is he going to be able to get it? He is. Muscle Murphy, I'm sorry. It's back to the lobby you go because Vis, DrDisrespect, and Crafty are running huge.
And one thing happened early in this initiation before the chaos kind of keeps happening here is, but after that grenade went down, the 59 damage that came in, they knew that after they got the knock on the staircase, there was a second target upstairs due to the information on the lack of shields based on that grenade before. It's one of those moments where the UI elements of Apex Legends allows you to make very smart choices in very quick time frames. And Vis, I mean, he's been clutching it out on that all day.
Yeah, and just when you think all of the action is over, squad after squad is concaving down onto DrDisrespect the Craft, but they are not backing down. It is another knockdown. Crafty's able to pick up this one. A little bit of slide coming out of Vis. An assist as well as DrDisrespect finally gets on the board and gets himself a down onto I Huge Pickle. There is still 1 left remaining, though it wasn't a full elimination, so scouting, he must go.
Blow me.
I don't know where I'd be if I Huge Pickle wasn't knocked out of this group, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
That guy's
and his teammate DeCuck over there. DrDisrespect friend, able to rid of the shenanigans here.
He is purging this lobby of all of his shenanigan names. Now is Vis rolling in more wingman play. We got multiple games, like 3-something games going on with people dropping 20 bombs at the moment. It's just when you start to think like, this will be the game that puts them ahead. Nope, everyone else is right behind them.
And this is something that that really speaks to the streamers that are involved here in North America. There were clearly some outliers in Europe. You had ZF, you had the Nordics, you had Team Main that were doing really well on that side. Now, if you take a look at the standings and you see what you have on the other side of the board, every single team is showing up to bat. Every single team, just when you think, oh, well, they're out of the run, and they're dropping 20 bombs, they're dropping 25s, they're breaking the new record with a 35. They are showing up to play today.
And I want all 6 of them.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
and I think that word, that sentence, if you will.
Thanks for the 200 bits, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, dude.
Right as you finish that, jump, he comes in and goes, I want all 6 of them. And I think that shows exactly the thought process here is there are 6 people left, and if we don't say, that we are the ones executing each and every one of those, we're doing something wrong. And that's a mentality the guys have to have because it is a very tense race there at the top half of our standings. DrDisrespect looks like he's going to kind of move up and just scout a little bit there as he drops a portal for retreat if things get a little bit hairy. And we are back at what feels like the prime place of action over Apex Legends. Every game seems like this is very much the beginning or end of it.
Team Papega, just an update, currently dropping 28 kills. Our game is not over yet.
Above me here.
And that's after they've been stepping up the ranks pretty heavily in points, actually. They're a group we might have to look out for. Hold up, though.
Nice.
A little bit of damage, not enough to get rid of the shields, but a full flank actually going down, knocking all the shields. The teamwork and focus fire here, tracking it down. Look at that. That is the power of the Spitfire, how long he was able to hold down that pressure and that damage. They're spraying through the smoke, end up getting the first knock here.
Get him, they got him. That's the squad. Just one more squad left.
2 squads
right here.
left remaining, and they found them. The action has not stopped the last 5 minutes. It's been DrDisrespect the Craft that have been going time after time again, squad after squad. The Bangalore passive gets popped out. He's going to throw the tactical ability down as well to get a little bit of smoke. He's going to beam with the Spitfire, but it's not enough. It is Vis against the world. We've seen opportunities from their team. The knock isn't going to happen. It is. There's one. There are multiple members left alive. Things are not out of the count just yet. Vis has the Phoenix kit. He's going to try to get himself a full heal. Thankfully, he's able to do just that.
Phoenix kit goes off, but as we've said, it is not over yet. Does his teammate go for the reses in the same way that Vis has decided to go for the reses down below? The shots come out. It's a lot of damage, 50% damage onto the shield. Goes for the smoke, buy him a bit of room. He sprays down. That's 2 versus 1. No shielding remains onto Vis. Goes back, looking at a Phoenix kit. Will he commit?
Oh, yeah, he uses the shield battery, so thankfully he's got a little bit left on that epic armor to try to give him a little bit of something. The full finish gets finished off there. It's a lot of finishes.
But that did reveal where they are. The fact that they even have an angle on that one member there.
Now remember, he did get that knockdown. There was an opportunity for the enemy actually to get the revive. Thankfully, he's got the height advantage now. Lots of damage, is able to break the armor, which means it's time for him to push. He's going to get a lot more. The armor breaks. You can hear it. A knockdown has happened. He's going to switch to another one. Full elimination. There's still one member left alive, though. He's going to have to be careful.
He's getting flanked there. I felt like he had a little bit of pressure from above. Apparently not. Able to buy time to get the shield battery, knowing that he's got to be in the river down below. He goes for the execute, so he is in the river. Vis knows where he is. One target is going to remain. He gets the flank. Lifeline is dead.
Champion banner goes across. You can see the excitement on Vis's face. The headset comes off, but it doesn't matter. They get the 5 points. DrDisrespect the Craft showing up huge.
Oh, man, it was the power of G Fuel, man, carrying Vis all the way by himself, the 1v3. So important, too, that he gets the elimination on that first down, or the second down there, to make sure he guarantee they're not going for the